Breaking news now. When Putin lost touch with reality, and Pilar Bonet wrote the first apologist for the war, they had a problem. The URSS correspondent publishes Náufragos del Imperio, focusing on the Russian invasion of Ukraine, with particular attention paid to Crimea and the Donbass. It is common for historians to rise to the occasion of major historical events. Some examples include the fall of the Soviet Union and the survival of a troubled Russia looking for its place in the world. Since then, literature has produced classics that not only stand the test of time but shine brighter with each passing year. I've been thinking about David Remnick's La Tumba de Lenin, Debate, who was editor-in-chief of The New Yorker and a correspondent for The Washington Post back in those days. Or in Ryszard Kapuscinski's El Imperio, Anagramma, Imágenes sobre Fondo Rojo, Aguilar, by El Pa journalist Pilar Bonet, Ibiza, 1952, is one of the earliest books about the Soviet Union's demise that has been unfairly forgotten. It would help us make sense of many of the events that puzzle us now. The book's author was a correspondent in the Soviet Union, USSR, then in Russia, and finally in the post-Soviet space, with a 3-year break as a correspondent in Germany between 1997 and 2000. Similar in style to the works mentioned above is Apuntes Fronterizos, Galaxy Gutenberg, a book whose focus is narrower because it does not deal with the fall of the URSS in a broad sense but rather with one of its current manifestations, in this case, the invasion of Russia into Ukraine in February 2022. An event that Bonet places in context and which causes him to broaden the scope of his book's treatment of time. Thus, we learn how the independence of Ukraine and other Soviet republics was negotiated and achieved. In 2004, the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022 is the culmination of a process that began in the 2004 Ukrainian presidential elections, in which a clear disjunctive between two geostrategic orientations emerged, and, most importantly, in 2014, the year of the invasion itself. The Crimean Peninsula and the adjacent Donbass region, which includes eastern Donetsk and Lugansk, make up the book's other axis. The subtitle describes them as impressions and arrows on the ground. Such as this one, which, had it been published on the day he wrote it, would have drawn plenty of alarmist, or anti-Russian, criticism. Donetsk, April 18, 2014. Vladimir Putin no longer has a grip on reality. In his fantasyland, he plays with maps, history, and space. It remains to be seen whether the collective hallucination concludes peacefully or explodes into war. Náufragos del Imperio combines the author's strengths in 3 types of journalism: the chronicle, the analysis, which she continues to exercise brilliantly in El Pa, and the profile. Different narrative styles, each with its own set of rules, serve to great effect in this book, which brings to life the kinds of conflicts that are usually viewed through the cold lens of geopolitics.